last week was an especially busy one here at the stock exchange, certainly when it came to IPOs, and that included Shoulder Innovations. The company, trading under the ticker symbol SI, celebrated the milestone by ringing the closing bell this past Thursday. It's utilizing artificial intelligence and machine learning to treat its patients. Well, our Ashley Masternardi, NYSE content creator, sat down with the CEO, Rob Ball, who explained why his company is focused exclusively on shoulder replacements. Let's take a listen.
So what we found over the years is that there has been a broad difficulty with the outcomes with shoulder replacements. You have about as many patients see a physician for shoulder pain each year as you do with knee pain, except we do 3 to 4 times as many knee replacements each year as we would shoulder replacements, because historically the outcomes in shoulder replacement has not been as favorable as it has been in knee. And so most of us know a friend or a family member that's had a knee or a hip replacement, but not as many for shoulder because of these challenges historically. So in recent years, we've meaningfully improved the technology and the level of training for physicians specifically for shoulder difficulties. And so with that specialization and the improved technologies, the outcomes have improved. And so that's put us in a position where you have this very large underserved market, and specialization in this difficult treatment area puts us at a significant advantage in the market to be able to take share.
You're saying that shoulder implants or shoulder replacements sometimes don't take as well. Is there something that your company is doing? Is there anything that's proprietary that's helping to solve for that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's many things. As a team, we have been in this space literally for decades, behind some of the most significant innovations that have transformed shoulder arthroplasty as a procedure and the outcomes. One thing specifically is what we call the inset technology. What the inset technology does is solves for the main problem in anatomic shoulder arthroplasty, which is loosening of the component that attaches to the scapula or the shoulder blade side of the joint. Historically, there's been challenges with that part of the joint replacement where it would actually over years come loose away from the scapula bone. And so we've developed a technology called the inset glenoid that we believe solves for that and then does provide better outcomes. We've published a number of peer-reviewed studies that have shown favorable results using our technology.
And what differentiates Shoulder Innovations from other companies that provide body implants?
Yeah, so the one thing, as you already pointed out, is our level of specialization has allowed us to build what we characterize as an ecosystem. Of course, part of that ecosystem is our very much market-leading technology specifically related to the implants. But we also couple that with a couple other very important advantages that really change the workflow to some degree in the way these procedures are performed. So one of those is our preoperative planning platform. So what we do is we allow surgeons to take CT data of their patients or three-dimensional data of their patients, and it passes through an AI algorithm in our software platform, which allows the surgeon to actually do a shoulder procedure virtually before they step in the operating room to make sure that they're perfectly prepared in order to provide the optimum outcome for the patient. The other fact that's very important about our penetration and our success in the market thus far is there's a meaningful transition for these types of procedures away from inpatient hospital settings to outpatient settings, including the ambulatory surgery center. And one thing that we've changed is we've redesigned the technique in shoulder arthroplasty so that we deliver a much simpler and smaller package to these ambulatory surgery centers, which historically have less resources, less facility to manage what can be a burdensome amount of equipment. So that's put us in a very, in a very different position than some of our competitors in order to serve these patients that would prefer an outpatient setting to an inpatient setting.
And I also know that you sell directly to orthopedic surgeons, and you offer a one-tray option.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what that means and how that helps your customers save money?
Yeah, so we sell to the facilities that the surgeons are associated with, and the surgeons have a lot of decision-making ability as it relates to what's happening in those procedures. The impact of the one-tray platform is multiple. One, and most obvious, is when you provide the instrumentation to the operating center, they have to decontaminate and sterilize it before and after the procedure. Obviously, there's a cost to that. And if you're sterilizing one tray versus many trays, obviously the cost and the time associated with that is important. It's a lot, so it can be quite burdensome. So the overall cost of the healthcare system can be reduced as a function of that alone. But one thing that's maybe not so intuitive is when you are in an operating room with one tray versus many trays, the entire surgical staff's job is easier. The process is more intuitive. The level of risk of making an error is much lower when you're just dealing with much less material. And what we find is even though some surgeons don't always have to carry the tray and they don't carry the burden of sterilizing that instrumentation, the improved workflow associated with the rest of the staff around the surgeon just provides for a better, lower anxiety, safer environment for everyone.
All right, thanks again to Shoulder Innovations Chief Executive Rob Ball and, of course, the NYSE's Ashley Mastronardi for that interview. Well, you got plenty more.